So just like real quickly, talk us about a smoothie and what can turn a smoothie, flip it over the edge so it's no longer healthy, like sugar-wise or things like that.
Yeah.
So for instance, like you can correct me. My smoothie is a little bit over the top, so this might be like the perfect smoothie, but because we have a farmer's market, so I get raw goat's milk. So I do raw goat's milk, about a cup full of blueberries. I'll do a grass-fed goat protein, goat whey protein, and then I do the mushroom blend plant protein. So 1 scoop of each.
Nice.
And then I'll do 1 to 2 egg yolks from our own chickens, just the yolks, not the white.
Mm-hmm.
And then a nice, like a half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. And blend it up.
I want
too much sugar, too much, like not enough,
so.
like good amount.
It sounds great. On the plant proteins, sometimes we just check to see if they've added other things in there. Most people tolerate like pea proteins, rice. It's kind of like, is it non-GMO if there's rice in there?
Yeah, it's an organic product. It's the company. It's their master blend plant protein. So they've got a 10 adaptogenic mushroom blend in there.
Nice.
9 mushrooms and ashwagandha, and then pea and rice protein.
Yeah, that sounds great to me. I try to keep people within 50 grams of protein or less in a serving just at one time, maybe three
might be a
hours
little,
later. So
I might be a little heavy.
you might check it out.
Okay.
Just close to, we're thinking kidneys, things like that. But
Okay.
That sounds beautiful. It sounds low glycemic to me. I think that's one of the most important things is when we get into smoothie world, are we using a bunch of mango and pineapple and high glycemic fruits? I hate to get so nitpicky with it, but when we're looking at, you don't want something to backfire when people are putting so much energy into it. So organic berries, they always fall into that, dirty dozen of your highly sprayed with glyphosate.
Even the organic berries?
The organic, not so much. That's one of the fruits that I like.
Yeah, no. Blueberries are part of the dirty dozen because they're very porous.
Mm-hmm.
So they carry heavy pesticide and glyphosate load. So you do want to be careful.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a beautiful smoothie.
Good.
2 of the things I love to have people add to smoothies are hemp seeds or sprouted pumpkin seeds. They both are very high in magnesium and potassium.
Oh, okay.
And the levels of potassium that we're looking to get 4,700 milligrams of potassium a day. Like nobody's doing that. That's a lot of potassium spread throughout the day for over 4 grams. So, a quarter cup of sprouted pumpkin seeds from Costco organic is like 174 milligrams of magnesium or something like that. And it's really a good hit on potassium too.
Okay. So you could throw some of those in.
Yeah, 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds will have about roughly 16 grams of fat. We don't want to overdo on the fat, but you get some healthy fats
and so then you could take your omega and your D with that because that's plenty of fat.
You're getting some fats in there.
Okay, good. So that would be like, let's say like mid-morning, late morning as a smoothie. Do you have a preferred liquid for a smoothie, and then anything you say don't use for your smoothie?
Only thing I would say don't use is something wild like ice cream.
Okay.
Like maybe not. We're looking at sugars. And I'm not a huge fan of oat milk. Kind of like a starchy water. It's pretty high in carbohydrates.
It's actually, oats and almonds are the 2 most heavily sprayed foods in glyphosate.
It's up there, and we can get into oxalates with almonds, and it can be overwhelming. I have people, and I did so much almond milk for years and kind of had to really start switching it up between like a full fat coconut.
Okay.
Just something to give it something to thicken it up. I will frequently put avocado in my smoothie to thicken it up, which is another way to get some healthy fat in the morning. So that's another option. I have people kind of go moderate if they're an oat milk lover, or maybe kind of start to try to switch it up a little bit. But it's nice to switch around. If you use almond milk every day, maybe start rotating around with some coconut milk or, and ideally, like just a little full fat coconut. If you're worried about tacking on a million gore gums. Or
so in terms of from a non-animal, coconut's your favorite?
I'm a big fan of coconut. Most people tolerate it well. If they tolerate fats well, it can get high on the fat too. So if you're doing, the seeds and this, just kind of start taking a look at how much fat you're getting in it at one time. But
and you're cool with dairy, raw dairy, or organic A2 dairy?
I am. I think it really depends on the person. You'll hear a lot in functional medicine, and I've heard this from many different providers over the years, that they'll see people who are dealing with high inflammation respond better to cutting out dairy for a little while than they even do gluten. But it really depends on the person. Where's our gut health? Where are we at this time in our life? And some people tolerate that just fine. A lot of people tend to tolerate the raw dairy even better.
Yeah.
It's something people have to kind of be ready to dip their toes into, you know? But
if you can find it. My kids have grown up on entirely, it's all we eat at the house. So it's raw cow's milk, A2. Yep. A2 is the more ancient variety of cow that is much lower in lactose, right? Or it's easier to digest? What's the deal?
It's an easier to digest. And I don't remember. I feel like there's... It
has higher levels of bioavailability, and I think it's much lower naturally in lactose.
Maybe
than regular, than
I haven't looked into it in a while.
A1 milk, yeah.
Yeah.